Let's talk about flipping and rehabbing houses or even building new, ground up, whatever. How do you know how to price something? How do you know what your costs are and how to drill down on your cost? So a lot of that comes with experience. After a number of projects, you should be able to walk through a house if you're flipping it and know exactly what everything costs. You want to know how much it costs to hang a door, replace a window, refinish the floors, replace toilets, kitchens, cabinets, countertops, paint, all of that. So you want to get to the point to where you know exactly what those things are going to cost for pretty much every project you're going to do without even having to talk to anybody. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. One is I always recommend you hire contractors turnkey to do all the work for you so you can get pricing from them, get multiple bids until you get to know your numbers. Then you can set standardized pricing. And one of the ways to set standardized pricing is to call subcontractors and vendors and ask them, what their prices are for different ranges of things. So you can get an idea of what countertops are going to cost for the average kitchen and what the cabinets are going to cost. And you can use that as an allowance number. You don't need it all the way down to the detailed layout, but for a $300,000 house, you know that cabinets and countertops for that kitchen are going to be $15,000 if you're using solid surface countertops, plus or minus. You can spend more, you can spend less, but that's a good number to use for your budget range because that's going to be an allowance item. And you know that painting is going to be $2.50 a square foot in, $2.50 a square foot out for standard, one color on the ceiling, walls, standard trim, that kind of thing. If it starts getting more more paint colors and more detailed trim work, then that price goes up to $3.50, $4 a square foot for inside. Exterior, depending on whether it's brick, hardy plank, wood, whatever has to be done, can be $3 to $4 a square foot for the exterior. Roofing, you want to price roofing out. Roofing is done by the square, which is 100 square feet. So to tear off and re-roof with 3-tab is $250 a square foot in most areas. Architectural shingles are $300, $350 a square foot. If you have plywood, that's no big deal. It's $25 a sheet to rip it off and replace it. If you got spongy plywood, you want to make sure that they include the roof vents, pipe boots, and reflashing of any chimneys or anything like that that are part of the roof structure. So you want to just get to know those numbers, and you get to know them by calling roofing companies, you call painting companies, you call cabinet suppliers, you call flooring companies. Flooring's by the square foot. Even carpeting, you can compute that into a square foot number so you have an idea of what to estimate there when you're going through the house. So you want to create yourself a detailed spreadsheet with all these costs in a nice detailed format so that you know what these numbers are. All you got to do is plug them in, and you can estimate a rehab project as you're walking through. New construction works the same way. You can break it down in all the areas that I just talked about for new construction, from your foundation, site work foundation, all the way through to the roof. So it's ground up, outside in. And you also get bids as well from contractors on things. But ultimately, if you're doing a lot of volume on rehabs, you want to set standardized pricing for everything so that it's all apples to apples and you know exactly what your projects are going to cost. If it's new construction, you want to get bids and get your contractors to turnkey those projects for you so you can get square foot pricing based on what they're building in your area, similar to the same type of product you want to build with the same finishes. So that is how you can drill down on your numbers and start to get an idea of how to price out projects and estimate projects. It's really not complicated. It's just a matter of knowing the numbers and putting them down on paper and committing them to memory so that you know what those numbers are without even having to look at it, talk to anybody, or think about it.